What's happening, Manhwa champions? Don't forget to leave your feedback and smash that like button. Now let's dive into this epic tale. As a new morning dawns over Mok Sword Manor, the towering castle stands tall, surrounded by lush trees and glowing lanterns that illuminate the misty air. The tranquil beauty contrasts sharply with the tension brewing within. Inside his chamber, Jeong exhales deeply, staring at the ceiling. I miraculously managed to avoid death, he thinks, while idly twirling noodles with his chopsticks. And I got a chance to learn martial arts, but... His gaze shifts to the side, annoyance flickering in his blue eyes. His so-called guardian stands rigidly outside the door. Go Chan, a young guard in a green robe, sword strapped to his waist, foot tapping impatiently. He's bothering me, Jeong thinks, sipping his tea, eyes narrowing. Outside, Go-chan's expression is sharp, his impatience growing with every second. Guard cam has gone soft, he scoffs internally. What's so special about a kid who doesn't even know martial arts? The scene briefly darkens. He killed Mok Gyeongwoon, Chan exclaims, eyes wide with disbelief. Quiet, you're being too loud, Guard Cam warns, gripping his disciple's shoulder, the glow of lanterns flickering against their tense faces. Then what about the plan? Chan hisses, sweat trickling down his brow. Your role remains the same, Cam replies coldly. Keep an eye on him. Make sure he doesn't leave this place. Chan grits his teeth as Cam turns away. We'll throw him out eventually and side with someone else. His disciple hesitates before following after him. Cam, didn't you say you'd feed him poison? It'll be hard for him to disobey us. The reason we chose the third young master was... He's not it, Cam interrupts, his voice distant yet resolute. He's not the kind of person to be obedient. Cam casts a glance back at his disciple. He was a death row inmate who killed Mok Gyeongwoon and took his place. Quick-witted, fearless, and on the brink of death. Yet he still survived. Descending the stairs, Cam's voice echoes ominously. He's dangerous. Getting involved with him will do us no good. Chan stands frozen at the top of the stairway, staring at his master's retreating figure. His fists clench. Back at the chamber, Chan repeatedly knocks his forehead against the doorframe, frustration boiling over. What's so special about a kid who hasn't even learned martial arts? And who's been poisoned? Damn it! I can't go against these orders either. Inside, Jeong calmly eats his food, barely paying attention to the commotion outside. He glances toward the door, mildly irritated. What now? He mutters before taking another bite. Tapping his fingers rhythmically on the table, he contemplates his situation. Guard Com never told me why they needed a stand-in, he muses. He just left this one guard here to watch me. His blue eyes gleam with intrigue. I've only been here a short while, but I already understand the atmosphere. This place isn't dangerous enough to require a stand-in. It's actually pretty safe. That means there's another reason. A grin slowly creeps across his face. He plans to switch sides. With a quiet crack, Jeong breaks his chopsticks in half, a glint of amusement flickering in his gaze. Outside, the dimly lit corridor remains eerily silent. Chan, stationed at the door, begins nodding off, his head bobbing slightly, drool slipping from the corner of his mouth. Bam! The door suddenly swings open, smacking him directly in the face. Huh? Chan stumbles back, startled, rubbing his forehead. Jeong steps out nonchalantly, stretching his arms. Chan blinks in disbelief. What? Jeong tilts his head slightly. What? Do you think I need to use the bathroom or something? Chan scowls. Shut up and get back inside unless you want to see blood. Jeong barely flinches as Go-chan grabs him roughly. You said your name was Go-chan, right? Jeong asks casually, tilting his head. I don't think anything will happen if both of us keep this a secret. Chan's face contorts with anger. Bam! He slams Jeong hard against the door, pressing in close, his breath ragged with fury. You seem to have forgotten your place, Chan growls, his teeth gritted. Nothing good will come out of annoying me. Now get the hell back inside. Jeong merely blinks at him, completely unbothered. You're definitely weaker than Guard Com. Before Chan can react, Jeong claps a hand onto his shoulder. What? Chan starts, but in a blur. Thud! Jeong flips Chan effortlessly over his shoulder, slamming him onto the ground with brute force. Crack! Jeong twists Chan's arm behind his back. Ah! Chan gasps, his face contorting in pain. Fear grips him as his body shakes violently. My body won't move, Chan panics internally. Could it be? Did he just seal my pressure points? Laying face first on the floor, Chan trembles as realization dawns on him. This bastard? Was he hiding the fact that he's learned martial arts? Jeong nonchalantly sits on Chan's back, observing him struggle. Huh? You're still moving? Did I do it wrong? Jeong mutters, slightly amused. I just copied what Guardcom did last time, but it's actually not that easy. He casually pokes another pressure point. Ah! Chan yelps, his body jolting in pain. His mind races in shock. What the hell is he saying? Chan screams internally. Does he mean he's copying a technique he only witnessed once? Tears begin to well up in Chan's eyes. Cam was right, he realizes in horror. This guy is dangerous. Chan desperately tries to regain control of his body. Have you forgotten about the poison? He shouts, breath ragged. You couldn't have forgotten that you'll die without the neutralizer. Flashes of death flood Chan's mind. A man, body writhing in agony, veins blackening as blood pours from his eyes, mouth, and nose. You'll bleed out from every orifice. You'll rot from the inside and die a horrible death, Chan screams, sheer panic in his voice. Jeong's face remains unreadable. Suddenly, Jeong grabs Chan's mouth. Then he bites his own finger. You bastard! What are you? Chan shouts, but his words are cut short. A single drop of Jeong's blood drips into Chan's mouth. Chan's eyes widen in absolute terror. What? He gasps, his mind blanking. Poison? His throat burns, his stomach churns violently, his entire body feels like it's being ripped apart from the inside. I need to circulate my inner energy. I have to expel the poison, Chan panics, his body convulsing as he coughs uncontrollably, trying to rid himself of the toxin. Jeong simply watches, unfazed. I've tried all kinds of poisons ever since I was a kid, Jeong explains, kicking Chan's trembling body away. While foraging for herbs with my grandfather, I developed a tolerance. No, immunity. Eventually, my own blood became poisonous. Chan coughs violently, his eyes bloodshot, his limbs weak. Jeong licks the remaining blood off his fingers, completely nonchalant. I can tell what herbs went into something just by smelling or tasting it, Jeong continues, his expression darkening. Most poisons won't work on me, so I don't need the neutralizer. Chan stares up at him, his body shaking in disbelief. A demon! He's a demon! His mind screams. Jeong crouches beside him, smiling casually. Ah, right. I wanted to ask you something, Jeong says, his blue eyes gleaming. Tell me about Mok Sword Manor. Chan can barely respond, his breath ragged, his vision spinning. Oh, and by the way, Jeong adds with a light-hearted grin, I'm the only one who can neutralize my blood's poison. Chan's pupils dilate in pure horror as his mind spirals into complete fear. I'm sure you'll be a lot of help to me, Jeong finishes, his voice almost playful. Sweat drips from Chan's brow, his entire body trembles. He's a monster, Chan whispers, eyes filled with complete dread. Mok Sword Manor. Main Hall. The grand halls of Mok Sword Manor stand tall, surrounded by multiple buildings, their towering presence casting long shadows over the estate. Inside the master's chamber, the air is thick with the scent of medicinal herbs in desperation. Cough, cough, cough. The frail, sickly figure of Manor Master Mok Gyeongwoon lies in bed, his body trembling with each ragged breath. Standing over him, his court physician wipes sweat from his brow, frustration heavy in his expression. Is there really no solution? The physician mutters, voice filled with despair. He clenches his towel tightly. I've exhausted all of my knowledge and experience, used every herb at my disposal, yet I can't even determine the cause of his illness. The physician's gaze flickers downward, thoughts darkening. You should have chosen a successor beforehand. The four sons of Mok Sword Manor remain without a named heir. The absence of a successor has left the entire manor in an eerie silence, a calm before the storm. Four figures loom in his mind, three shrouded in shadow, the fourth standing clear, Mok Gyeongwoon, the one who now wears that name. If the Manor Master dies, blood will spill as the brothers battle for power. The physician's thoughts are interrupted by the sound of footsteps. The first wife, Lady Seok, enters the chamber. A voluptuous woman, her face painted with heavy makeup and lips stained deep red, she moves gracefully, her vibrant robes flowing with each step. In her delicate hand, she carries an ornate fan, which she raises slightly to cover a knowing smirk. How is the Manor Master? She inquires, her voice sickly sweet yet devoid of true concern. The physician bows slightly. My lady. Lady Seok's expression hardens. I asked how he is. She stands over her husband's frail form, her sharp gaze sending a chill through the room. The physician swallows hard. I apologize, but my knowledge is insufficient. I cannot find a cure for his condition. It is unexplainable. Lady Seok sighs dramatically, fanning herself lightly. As expected, everyone calls it a mystery illness. An illness no one can understand. Her painted lips curl into a sly smile. In that case, we have no option but to turn to shaman arts. The physician's eyes widen in alarm. My lady, shamanism is nothing more than superstition. You cannot possibly... Lady Seok cuts him off with a piercing glance. Should I just stand by and do nothing while my husband dies? She snaps. The physician stammers. That's not what I meant, my lady. I don't want to hear it, she declares, turning away. I have already summoned a shaman, one who specializes in handling unidentified illnesses. She waves her fan dismissively. You are excused. Two maidens step forward, grabbing the stunned physician by the arms and dragging him toward the door. Lady Seok, he cries out, but his protests fall on deaf ears. The door slams shut behind him. Lady Seok turns back to the dying man, standing over him like a vulture over a carcass. A wicked smirk tugs at her lips as she folds her arms, fan resting against her chin. The shaman will deal with your illness, dear husband, she murmurs softly. Then glancing toward the two guards standing behind her, she issues a final command. Do not let a single soul enter this hall. The two guards bow deeply. As you command, my lady. Her eyes gleam with quiet satisfaction as she turns back to her husband. Back at Jeong's chamber, Go-chan sits on the floor, still gasping for breath after his encounter with Jeong. Sweat drips from his brow as he finally manages to compose himself. That is the current situation within Mok Sword Manor, he mutters hoarsely, still coughing. Jeong crosses his arms, absorbing the information. I see. Then with a casual grin, he claps his hands together. All right then, shall we get out of here? Chan's head snaps up. To where? He exclaims, still hunched over on the ground, his voice edged with panic. Jeong turns toward the window, his blue eyes glinting in the morning light. Where do you think? A slow smirk spreads across his lips. I'm going to see the Manor Master. Chan's stomach drops, his face draining of color as he stares at Jeong in horror. Sweat beads on his forehead. He's insane. Jeong's next move is insane, but can he survive what awaits him in the Manor Master's chamber? Find out in the next episode. But before you go, don't forget to tap like if you enjoyed the episode, subscribe for more epic recaps, turn on notifications so you never miss a chapter. And with that being said, Manhwa Champions, we're going to bring this video to an end. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will catch you all later. Peace.